Good day everyone! I am Leilani, the leader of Group 6, and we're going to discuss about the food safety and proper food sanitation. Food safety or food hygiene is a scientific method or discipline that describes how to handle, prepare, and store food in order to avoid foodborne illnesses. So what is foodborne illnesses? Foodborne illnesses is also known as foodborne disease or commonly known as food poisoning. It is any illness caused by pathogenic bacteria, viruses, and parasites that contaminated food. So here are some of my members who will going to illustrate to you how to prevent food poisoning and proper sanitation and storing.
What is foodborne illness? Foodborne illness, also called the food poisoning, is an illness caused by eating food that have harmful organisms in them. These harmful germs can include bacteria, parasites, and viruses. They are mostly found in raw meat, chicken, fish, and egg. But they can spread to any type of food. They can also grow on food that is left out on counters or outdoors or in storage too long before you eat it. Sometimes, foodborne illness happens when people don't wash their hands before touch food. Foodborne diseases are caused by contamination of food and occur at any stage of the food productions, delivery, and consumption chain. It's any illness that results from the consumption of contaminated food, contaminated with pathogenic bacteria, viruses, or parasites. The economic cost associated with the foodborne diseases can be served of people, food companies, and country reputation. Foodborne diseases globally is still not under control, and outbreaks can cause health and economic losses. Most of the time, foodborne illness is mild and goes away after a few days. All you can do is wait for your body to get rid of the germs that is causing the illness. But sometimes a foodborne illness may be more serious and you may need to see a doctor. What are the symptoms? The first symptoms of foodborne illness are usually diarrhea. You may also feel sick to your stomach, vomit, or have stomach cramps. Some foodborne illness can cause a high fever and blood in your stool. How you feel when you have foodborne illness? Mostly depends on how healthy you are and what germs is make you sick. If you vomit or have diarrhea, a lot you can get dehydrated. Dehydration means that your body has lost too much fluid.
Three classification of foodborne. Foodborne infection occurs when live bacterial cells are ingested. These bacterial cells can then grow in the digestive tract and cause symptoms. An example of bacterial infection is Salmonella infection. Foodborne infection. Ang foodborne infection daw po ay ang pagkaka-indigest ng bacteria at ito ay tumitira sa bituka ng tao. Maraming dahilan ng pagkakaroon ng foodborne infection. Ang ilan sa sanhi nito ay ang improper hygiene, gaya ng hindi paghuhugas ng kamay bago kumain, o ang hindi tamang paghuhugas ng kamay pagkatapos lumamig. Ito rin ay nangyayari kapag ikaw ay uminom o kumain ng pagkain na mayroong bacteria o virus o parasite. Food intoxication occurs from eating a food that contains a toxin produced by bacteria. An example of food intoxication is Clostridium botulinum. Food intoxication occurs when live bacterial cells are ingested which then produce toxin in the body. An example of food intoxication is Clostridium perfringens. Upang maiwasan ang food poisoning, ugaliing maghugas ng kamay bago kumain, gumamit ng sabon pagkatapos dumumi, o kaya siguraduhin hindi pasira ang pagkain kakainin. Gumamit o linisin ang mga kagamitan pagkatapos ng pagluluto o bago ito gamitin sa ibang pagkain upang maiwasan ang food contamination.
Personal hygiene is an essential part of food safety compliance adherence. It is important to wear clean clothing such as apron and keep your hair neat and clean, and don't forget to wear hat or hairnet. If you have any communicable disease or infection, advise your supervisor and don't work with food. It is also important that you shower daily. Washing your hands truly is important to clean food preparation. Wash your hands thoroughly before handling food and wash them again frequently during work, and dry your hand with a clean towel. The importance of washing your hands is to stop the spreading of bacteria and viruses in a food environment. Proper handling practices are required to ensure a safe environment.
Now, let's talk about the proper food sanitation. Personal hygiene is really important, especially that we are working in this industry, wherein we really have a close contact on various people, as well as in the food preparation. Neatness, cleanliness, and maintaining hygiene of the space is expected in every hospitality establishment. Personal hygiene in restaurants and implementation of hygiene standards and procedure for your staff is the best way to gain the trust of customers. Here are the things that you need to remember and consider, especially when you are working in this industry. Keep mustache and beard trim and clean. Better yet, be clean shaved. Always maintain a clean shaving routine. It is for you to project a good and neat image to the guests and customers. Cover your mouth when coughing, cover nose when sneezing, then wash them afterwards. Aside from washing your hands or using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, one of the most important and effective ways to stop the spread of germs is to cover your cough and sneeze. It's not just good manners. Doing so helps reduce the spread of germs, including the highly contagious influenza virus. The flu and some other infections are spread through microscopic water droplets expelled from an infected person, commonly through coughing, sneezing, and hand-to-mouth contact. And of course, washing your hands after using it to cover your mouth and nose is also essential, because you are touching some things that is being used in touching surface and handling things, especially foods. Another thing is that keep your hands away from your face, eyes, hair, and arms. It is also necessary to keep your nails short and clean when working, especially in the food industry. Fingernails can easily get dust or any kind of dirt pathogens. Because of this, it's important to properly scrub our hands and trim our nails. Additionally, do not use nail polish. Any mouth-related behavior, including smoking and chewing gum, must be minimized. First, the smoke coming from the cigarette can harm both worker and customers. It could also lead to disease including heart and lung problems. Second, since our mouths are prone to germs, we should avoid from chewing gum and engaging in other mouth-related activity to prevent contaminating our food. And also, it is to show respect from your customers. Open wounds or cut must not be tolerated, especially on exposed areas. If blood spills on food or utensils, it can be quite harmful. To prevent contaminating food, the worker should clean and cover the wound with a sterile bandage. If you have sores, you should consider if you still need to attend work. As a worker, we should consider not only our own health but also the health of our co-workers and especially our guests. In a workplace, usually the table is the first thing that is really need to be clean, because it is where we prepare, produce, or work. And we have those chairs where we can sit, so we should still exercise caution in this kind of circumstances. Even if we comply with all the regulation except for this, your service would still not be satisfactory. So following all the regulations is necessary. And that is all the things you can do so that you can have the personal hygiene, especially in this industry.
Equipment should first be washed before use. Why do we need to clean equipment before using? Germs from a person may be found on any object the person touched or on equipment that was used during their care. Some germs can live up to 5 months on a dry surface. Germs on any surface can pass to you or another person. This is why it is important to disinfect supplies and equipment. Implement and observe daily cleaning schedule of equipment and facilities. A separate tasting spoon should be used. Once used, it must not come in contact with food being prepared. Keep food covered. Hands should not come in contact with the surface where the food is to be placed. What makes food taste? The most basic way to make your food taste better is to use spices, herbs, and seasoning. This ingredient having used in cooking for centuries. When cooking, our manner should be accurate because it is very important to clean your mess, and it is very unethical when we leave our garbage in our cooking station. So we need to cover and elevate our garbage to prevent the access of vermin and pests. And please wash your hands after handling garbage. One part of the sanitation practices is cleaning your dining table where the food is to be served. It is important to keep it clean and dry because we all know the germs and bacteria may vary from moist surfaces, and we would like to prevent this type of situation.
Use only fresh ingredients. Wash all fruits and vegetables and other ingredients before using. Peeled items should not be kept soaked for long periods. Keep all stored items tightly covered. There should be separate chopping boards for cooked and raw ingredients, or at least always wash before reusing for other purpose. Mise en place, French phrase meaning everything in place as in setup. It refers to the setup required before cooking and is often used in professional kitchens to refer to organizing and arranging the ingredients. Cook meat and poultry to the safe range of doneness, the condition of being cooked to the desired degree.